Let's study about material evaluation. What is an evaluation? Evaluation can be well defined to see if the course is the best possible. Looks for both at the results of the course and the planning and running of the course. Is the teaching on high standard? Is the course preparing the learners properly for the use of English at the end of the course? Example given to pass the TOEFL test, to study in an English medium university, to work as a tour guide. Are the learners satisfied with the course? Is the course cost effective? Now, material evaluation definition. Material evaluation may be defined as a procedure or a systematic appraisal measuring the potential value of materials on learners in relation to their objectives. Is discussed by Tomlinson in 1998 and in 2003 again. In other words, material evaluation means a principled process of providing useful information about the targeted materials in order to select and or develop them in a reliable and valid approach. Material evaluation can be impressionistic or empirical, as said by Ellis in 1997, and the impressionistic way of materials evaluation has come under criticism for being unempirical or unscientific, as discussed by Mukundan in 2006. Moreover, Mukundan in 2004 and 2009 again discussed that the evaluation practices have not been examined critically to determine the effectiveness and value in teaching learning environments. Steps in evaluation. There are at least 9 steps. If we follow that, the evaluation process can be completed. Number 1 step is who the evaluation is for and what kind of information they need. Find what the results of the evaluation will be used for. Decide if the evaluation is necessary or if the needed information is already available. Find how much time and money are available to do the evaluation. Decide what kinds of information will be gathered. Try to gain the support of the people involved in the evaluation. Number 7, decide how to gather the information and who will be involved in the gathering information. Number 8, decide how to present the findings. Number 9, the last number is that in which student or the course designer must decide if a follow-up evaluation plan to check implementation of the findings. Now, purpose and ideals of the evaluation. The main purpose and the evaluation of the ideals of the evaluation are based on number 1, the three-way scope distinction can be included as the purposes and the audiences. Kelly and Reed Dickens discussed in 2006. Number 1, the first way is large-scale evaluation, which needs to tend to focus on major educational innovations with significant financial backing with an underlying agenda. Number 2, teacher-led evaluations, in which teachers are the sole responsible to evaluate or to judge the material. Number 3, management-led evaluations. A course evaluation can be an expensive and time-consuming procedure. An evaluation of a university department involves bringing in some outside evaluators to evaluate the material and to judge them and to select or for the education purpose within the university or within the department. Who the evaluation is for and what kind of information they value. It helps determine the degree of confidentiality of the evaluation. It helps determine what kind of information should be gathered and what. Number 2, kind of information should not be gathered by the commission and relevant person like learners, directors, teachers. play important roles. And second, brief mock report is needed. The data will be provided willingly or reluctantly. The type and focus of the evaluation is based on long-term evaluation and short-term evaluation. Long-term evaluation, most economic if it is planned. Eliminative evaluation require teacher to be active program evaluators. Short-term evaluation have the quality of teaching teachers and learner achievement, which can not be done in short term. One or two isolated observations may not show learning of a program and its content. The process. Engagement to the courses, the quality of the interaction, the quality of the language used. While the product, result of the program based on what and how much was learned. There are certain factors, particularly two factors are important to note here. Number one, cognitive factors, learning and teaching, gaining the knowledge and application. However, affecting factors include only feelings of satisfaction and attitudes. Gaining support for the evaluation, a course evaluation looks for strengths and weaknesses. The sources of information should be trusted. There should be a cooperation with the source of information and the evaluator. A proper evaluation can be an empowering and motivating activity. Now, the gathering the information can be gathered through interview, self-report scale, prod, large number of people and information, clear focus on evaluation, compare with the previous evaluation. They tend to result in average results. Self-report scale involve predetermined questions and types of answers are often used for students' evaluation of teaching. Observations, analyzing the course book, observing learning lessons, observing teaching, analyzing the coverage of curriculum design procedures, observing the performance of learners after the course. Structured observations, the checklist, include like tests or dependent measures in an experiment. Items on it should be clearly understood by each person using it. Not too many, not too few items. Should be based on a well thought out research system, likely to be practical if it is not too long. A small amount of time spent on. There is a systematic coverage of what is important. Allow comparison between different courses, lessons, and teachers. A way of formative evaluation. Now, unstructured observation. Observer tries to see what is there without too many preconceptions. Pick up features that may not have been included in any checklist. Why do we evaluate materials? Number one, to identify the popular and successful features of existing materials, which will help us to produce better materials. Number second, to choose suitable material for language programs. Number third, to adapt the material to make them better suit the needs of the student and the needs of teaching. To identify how successful the materials used in the classroom are. To examine whether the materials fulfill the prescribed course. To examine the extent to which materials permit students to achieve learning objectives. To identify whether the design of the materials are suitable for a task-based syllabus. Now, reasons and purposes of material evaluation. Identifying the reason for material evaluation is necessary to achieve the main purpose of evaluation. Cunningsworth, for example, identifies two reasons for evaluation. The intention to adopt new course books is one of the main reasons. Second, to identify the points of strength and weaknesses is another reason for evaluation. Makhdoom 2009 argues that there are two purposes for evaluation. The first purpose is to select the course book or material, and the other purpose is to determine the effectiveness of the course books or materials while they are used. However, Tomlinson and Mushara 2004 indicate that the ultimate purpose of the evaluation is for redevelopment of material. Now, principles in material evaluation. There are two principles in material evaluation. Number one, effectiveness. Second, efficiency. As discussed in Ellis 1998, in Tomlinson 1998. Now, let's look at effectiveness principle. In a course book or material effective in meeting the needs of the learners? Compare what learners knew and were able to do before they use the course book or material with what they know and are able to do after they have used it. The second, efficiency principle. In order to assess that, we need to follow the question: does a course book or material meet the needs of the learners more effectively than some alternative course books? Compare the learners' gains evidenced by using one course book or material with the gains evidenced by another material. Now, approaches to materials evaluation. Ad hoc impressionistic evaluation versus systematic evaluation. An ad hoc impressionistic evaluation is based on intuitions, impressions, and experience of using materials. In an ad hoc evaluation, valid methodological considerations may give way to an eye-catching appearance. Ad hoc impressionistic evaluation can be biased by misconceptions about what desirable material should look like. Both classroom teachers and specialized researchers can have these misconceptions. However, the second, a systematic evaluation is based on a specification of objectives, principles, and procedures adopted or embedded in materials. A systematic evaluation is done in a longitudinal fashion, which has three stages: pre-use evaluation, released use evaluation, and post-use evaluation. Systematic evaluation needs more theoretical background in language learning and more expertise in material development. Internal evaluation and external evaluation. An internal evaluation focuses on the internal accountability of the materials. For example, the theoretical assumption behind the material, the intended objectives, and the extent to which the objectives have been realized, the justification of language selection and grading, the design of activities and tasks. However, an external evaluation examines the extent to which a set of material meets the needs of a particular group of learners, the syllabus, and the examination that is whether a set of materials is suitable for a group of students. Now, framework and checklist for material evaluation. In order to make material evaluation more operable and easier to conduct, many frameworks or checklists have been developed. Number one, Breen and Candlin's framework, which is discussed in Sheldon in 1987 ELT document, which mentioned phase one, initial questions. In phase one, there are certain initial questions. Number one, what do the materials aim to do and what do they contain? What do the materials make your learner do while they are learning? How do the materials expect you to teach the learner in the classroom? Are the materials the only resource in classroom language learning? Phase two. Now, phase two, your learners and the materials. It also again follows the 5 questions. Are the material appropriate to your learners' needs and interests? Are the material appropriate to your learners' own approaches to language learning? Are the materials appropriate to the classroom teaching learning process? 7 design features of material for classroom work. Discovering learners' criteria for good materials. D. Douglas framework It discussed in Dogal 1987, in Shelley 1987 ELT document. It based on 5 important points that whatever the material may be evaluated or said or assessed may be followed on the 5 points or 5 agenda. Number 1, we have to see a look at the framework, the units, the subject matter, the form, and the course components. Number C, Little John's framework for analyzing materials. Discussed in Little John 1998, in Tomlinson's in 1998. This framework based on 2 aspects. Number 1, publications. Publications include place of learners' material in the set, publication form, worksheets versus bound book, durable versus consumable. Third, subdivision of material into sections. Number 4, subdivision of section into subsections. Number 5, continuity. Number 6, route, whether teaching order is predetermined, that is, can a section be skipped. Number 7, access, how access into the material are supported. For example, whether there are content lists, word lists, and indexes. However, the second aspect is design. Design is based on 9 aspects or 9 main procedures. Number 1, it sees aims. Second, principles of selection. Third, principles of sequencing. 4, subject matter and focus of subject matter. Number 5, types of learning, teaching activities. Number 6, participation. Who does what with whom? Who does what with whom? Number 7, learners' roles. Number 8, teacher's role. Number 9, role of materials as a whole. That's all.